Hi everyone, Kjarlune Rae. So last week I did a video on puzzles and how to start developing your intuition with puzzles. And when I did that video, I told you that sometime this week I would do a video on another technique that I use with my students called past life morphing. So that's what today's video is about. Before I explain to you how to do past life morphing, I'll just let you know how I actually got to the point where I started using this particular tool. When I do work with police and I solve cases and I do that kind of thing, I use a program called remote viewing, and there's probably 1,000 different ways to do remote viewing. Funny enough, the way that I do it actually came from my grade 6 teacher. So just a little bit of a history lesson on Kjarlune Rae. When I was in grade 6, I was apparently really good at spelling, and originally I wasn't, and it was a technique that my teacher gave me, and it worked out so well for me that, I'm aging myself now, but I ended up on a show called The Spelling Bee, and we won. But anyways, what my teacher had explained to me to do when I was looking for a really great, word, or I was looking to be able to figure out how to spell a great word, is stare off into a blank space on the wall. And when you stare off into a blank space on the wall, if you stare there long enough, the word will actually appear if you're a visual person. And so I used to do it for spelling all the time. And when I first got out into this field, I had a client call me about 2 men that were missing on a mountain. And I stared off into a blank space and instantly picked up the Sidhu and picked up where they were. And through the whole process, picked up that one of them was paralyzed, and then discovered it was from a accident previously. Anyways, after being missing for kind of 21 hours, I found them in sort of under 15 to 20 minutes after arguing with a police officer. So I discovered that remote viewing for me works while staring off into a blank wall. So when I started to teach my intuition classes, which, are tons of fun, when I started to teach those, I wanted to come up with something that could sort of get you or get my students to the point where they could sort of flick off from their logical side to their emotional side, because again, intuition comes from emotion. So what I started doing with them was a program that I called past life morphing. So that's not what anyone else calls it. This is my thing, and it's tons of fun. And the biggest reason that it's tons of fun is because it's, first of all, you'd be amazed at what you can see. Second of all, it's one of those things that you can't, for the first few times, you're just going to chalk it up to, no, I didn't really see that. And then after that, you really can't say that. You have no choice but to sort of follow through and start to believe in it. What I love the most about past life morphing, so I get my students to do it before they jump into any class, is it allows you to flick the switch from your logical side to your emotional side. Because again, intuition comes from emotional. You'll notice in all of my intuition videos that there's a lot of repetition, and when it comes to intuition, repetition is a really important thing. So how we do past life morphing is you can do it 2 ways. You can either do it with a partner, sitting across from a partner, or you can do it sitting and staring into a mirror. Either way, you have to be staring into either a mirror or a partner. Okay, and so what you do is you sit across from either the mirror or the partner. You sit across and you make sure that you're not wearing any glasses, you're not wearing any contact lenses, because you want your eyes to go lazy. For those of you that don't know this, if you have a bit of a lazy eye is actually the sign of the clairvoyant, just so that you understand. And people come into my office all the time and they're like, well, which eye am I supposed to look at? And I have a lazy eye, and when I'm working, my lazy eye is very intense, and when I'm not working, it isn't. When I'm tired, it gets intense again, because when I'm tired, I can't shut off things that I'm feeling. So, I've discovered for me, the lazy eye is really me tapping into the other side of what's going on. So I tap into the universe with my lazy eye, and I tap into this one with my regular eye. So you need to be able to allow your eyes to go lazy. For somebody like me, that happens very quickly. For somebody who's very logical, it takes you a little bit more work. Excuse me. So again, if this takes you tries, don't stress out about it. It's going to be natural to take you tries. It's going to be natural for you to be, no, that didn't happen. It's going to be natural for you to second guess and it all turns. So don't even stress about that, okay? So what you do is either looking into a mirror or looking across from somebody with no glasses on and no contacts. I want you to just sit there and just stare. Just allow your eyes to go lazy. You literally just keep staring at either the person's face or your face in the mirror. and just allow your eyes to go lazy. And as your eyes start to go lazy, different images start to morph. They start to kind of produce themselves. Different faces, different images. And what those images are, if you're doing this the way that I'm telling you to do this, what those images are images or little flashbacks from your filing cabinet of information of other lives that you've lived, or if you're staring off at a partner, other lives that they've lived. It's really, really, really cool. At first, you're not going to want to share what you're thinking and feeling. Chances are very good the first few times, the moment it starts to shift, you're going to be like, wah, and you're going to go back into your conscious really fast and shut it down. And then the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Some of you are going to jump in this and just, boom, you can pick it up right away. It all depends on how comfortable you are with your intuition as to how easy this is to do, how able you are to trust what you feel and what you see and what you think. Because really, that's what intuition is all about, is what we feel, what we think, what we see, what we just know versus what we have proof of. I have this tattoo on my arm, and it says believe to achieve. And I teach the law of attraction all the time, and I teach people that in order to achieve anything, you have to believe it. And one of the reasons that believing something is so easy for me to do, and why, for an example, the law of attraction is so easy for me to do, or easier than a lot of people, is because I have no choice every day but to believe in what I see, feel, and hear that I have no confirmation or proof of. And that's what this, past life morphing, if you just allow yourself to do it, give yourself time. Don't beat yourself up. Don't stress out about it. This is not if you can't do it once, that means you're not intuitive. It's not a competition. It's a game, and it's a fun game if you allow yourself to do it. So that's past life morphing. You can also use this to communicate with your guides. Absolutely everything that you do is based on intention, whether it's intuition or purpose in life, karma, it doesn't matter what it is, everything's based on intention. So if you sit across from a mirror, and if you're going to do guides, I don't recommend doing it with a partner. A partner is great for past life morphing, and it can be so much fun. Honest, I would get such a kick out of doing intuitive parties and having everybody get together across from each other and do this and allow things to happen, and have some nice soft music going. Like, have some fun with this. This can be tons of fun. And it's great because you get to discover who you've been before and what you've been about. Because before I go into what else you can do with past life morphing, I don't ever recommend you go to a psychic and get past life work done. I know that psychics offer them, and I'm not judging any psychic on the planet. I'm really not. I went years ago and took a hypnotherapy program, and I did that with the sole purpose of being able to do past life morphing. And since that, I've fallen in love with it, having nothing to do with past life morphing. I just love hypnotherapy. But the reason that I took it for past life morphing is because, as a psychic, I could tell you anything. I could tell you that you were on the Titanic. I could tell you that you were, Henry VIII. I could tell you pretty much anything. And because you're sitting across from a psychic, you'd be like, oh my God, that's so cool. And you'd believe it. There's no confirmation when you go to a psychic about your past lives. Not only that, you have every access. And it doesn't mean that the psychic's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're going to discover about past lives, there's a purpose attached to this, and you need to be able to discover it for you. It's a personal journey. It's a journey between you and this is your soul. So this is between you and every other experience your soul has ever experienced. That's not something that a psychic can necessarily participate well in. So I love past life morphing for that. And if you're ever looking to go get a past life regression, I absolutely recommend a past life regressionist, not a psychic. It doesn't mean psychics don't do past life regressions, but make sure that they do them with you. Let it be a hypnotherapy or a meditation or a guided something. Okay, so that's just a separate topic. So anyways, that's past life morphing. If you're sitting across from the mirror and you really want to start to communicate with your guides or start to be able to see your guides, you can actually sit across from your mirror. And I suggest doing the past life morphing to start, because let's get some practice first. But you can sit across from your mirror, and before you get started, literally communicate out loud that you would like to see your guides in the mirror, and you would like to be able to start to communicate with them. You would like to have a connection to them. And as you look in the mirror and allow yourself to get lazy again, so you allow your eyes to get lazy and drift off into space, you will start to see images across from you of your guides. And once you start that, then you can start communicating with them. It's absolutely a process. This takes time. This is not just a, quick, easy thing. It takes time, but it can be absolutely tons of fun. So I've been teaching for, let's see, I think I'm sitting at almost 20 years now at this point. Maybe it's 18, 19. Close to 20. So I've been teaching for a really long time, and I love doing it, and I teach differently than a lot of people do. There are programs out there that you can just take a 1-year course and all of that, and I do have those programs, but I also have my major intuition course is actually a lifetime course, and the reason that it is because intuition isn't something we just jump in or out of. It's something that we experience our entire lives, and so the more I learn, the more my students get to learn. So my students kind of jump in and out for periods of time, and they can be gone for 3-4 years, they'll jump back in. They can be gone for 10 years, they'll jump back in. That's the whole point of a lifetime course. So there you go. I shared past life morphing with you, and I'm not sure what I'm going to share in the next one. I think I'm actually probably going to share cards or something fun. So have a fabulous week, and enjoy your Friday, and enjoy the weekend. If you live anywhere near me, which is Alberta, apparently it's supposed to be very nice. I'm very excited. My pool's being opened, so that really excites me. And have a fabulous, fabulous week, and take care of yourself. Enjoy past life morphing. Bye-bye.